He said I was overthinking. That his study partner was just a friend. Until she showed up at my job with a baby bump and said, "He's not answering my calls." I stared at her, silent. That night, I asked him one question. He lied. So I gave him a gift that would ruin every lie he'd ever told. My name's Trish, I'm 33, and I live in Erie, Pennsylvania. I've been working at the same dental office for 9 years now, and I manage the front desk and scheduling. It's not glamorous, but it pays the bills and I'm good at it. I live a simple life. Or I used to. Before everything blew up. I was with Sean for 5 years. 5 years. I met him at my friend Melanie's housewarming party. He was quiet, didn't talk much at first, but when we did finally talk, it was like everything slowed down. He had this way of listening, like he actually cared about what I was saying. He said he liked that I was direct. I liked that he wasn't fake. At the time, he was going back to school for his master's in public health. I respected that. He said he wanted to help people, especially underserved communities. It sounded noble. I was proud of him. We moved in together about a year into this little 2-bedroom apartment close to the college. I gave him space to study. I did more chores than he did, but I didn't mind. I thought we were building something. The first time I heard the name Maya, I was cooking dinner. Sean walked in and said, "Maya said she wants to bring empanadas to our group meeting, which works out, 'cause I didn't have time to eat." I remember that sentence exactly. It was so casual. Like he was talking about someone totally irrelevant. Just another classmate. I didn't think much of it that day. But Maya's name kept coming up. Over and over. He'd get a text during a movie, "Oh, it's just Maya." Group project stuff. A call when we were at the grocery store. "Sorry, that's Maya, let me take this real quick." And still, I didn't push. I trusted him. Or I wanted to. He kept saying things like, "You're reading too much into this," or, "You know I love you." Why would I risk everything for someone I barely know? I wish I'd listened to my gut back then. But I told myself I was being insecure. The turning point came 3 months after he graduated. He just started working at a local health nonprofit. Things between us felt off. He was distracted. Less affectionate. Didn't even notice when I got a haircut. And when I brought up that he was pulling away, he said, "I'm just stressed." "You always make things about yourself." That one stung. So I stopped bringing things up. I just watched. And then came her. It was a Thursday afternoon. Slow day at the office. I was at the front desk, finishing up billing. The door opened and I looked up expecting a patient. Instead, I saw a pregnant woman. She was probably around 27. Hoodie, leggings, dark circles under her eyes. She looked tired. And anxious. She walked right up to the counter. "Are you Trish?" I hesitated. "Yes." She swallowed. "I'm Maya. I've been trying to get a hold of Sean. He won't answer my calls. Or my texts." My heart stopped. She looked down, rested a hand on her belly. "I just wanted to let you know. I'm not trying to hurt you, okay? I just need to know what's going on. I'm 7 months along. I'm having his baby." I stared at her. I didn't say a word. I couldn't. She looked around, maybe waiting for me to yell, to react, to cry. I did none of those things. I just stared. She said, "I'm sorry," and left. I went into the bathroom and locked the door. I sat on the floor for 10 minutes, hands shaking. I didn't cry. Not yet. I didn't know how. That night, I made Sean dinner like normal. Pasta and sausage. He joked about how tired he was. I smiled like nothing was wrong. After dinner, we sat on the couch. I muted the TV and looked at him. Is there anything you need to tell me? He looked confused. What? Like what? Maya came by the office today. His body stiffened. Just for a second. Then he leaned back and laughed a little. Are you serious? What did she say now? She's been acting nuts lately. You got her pregnant, Sean. He rubbed his forehead. Jesus. No, I didn't. That's not even, she's been saying weird stuff like that just to mess with me. I stopped talking to her weeks ago. She's unstable. I looked him dead in the eyes. Are you lying to me? No, Trish. God. Why would I lie? She's obsessed with me. That baby's not mine. He was so calm. So good at it. And if I hadn't already been suspicious, I might have believed him. But that was the last night I ever believed anything he said. He fell asleep by 11. I waited until his breathing got heavy. I took his phone from the charger. The passcode was still the same, his college ID number. I opened his texts. And I felt my stomach drop. Hundreds of messages. Late night ones. Flirty ones. Her telling him she missed him. Him saying, I can't tonight, she's home. Her texting, I'm scared, after finding out she was pregnant. Him texting, we'll figure it out. Just give me time. There were voice notes too. One where she cried. Another where he told her, don't do anything until I talk to Trish. I just need her to chill for a while. I recorded every message. Every picture. Every voice note. I uploaded it to a private Google Drive. Then I deleted the app off his phone. He'd never notice. I spent the next few days pretending. I cooked, I laughed, I kissed him. And inside, I was planning. I wasn't going to scream at him. I wasn't going to throw things. I wasn't going to cry. I was going to bury him in truth. I called his mom first. I told her I was planning a surprise, thank you, dinner to celebrate his new job. She offered to bring cake. I said perfect. Then I messaged Maya. Told her everything. I told her I believed her, and I was sorry I didn't sooner. I asked if she would be willing to come to a small dinner. I told her I wouldn't let him hurt her again. I also invited Matt and Candace, two of our closest couple friends. People who thought we were relationship goals. People he'd lied to too. And I rented out the private back room at Angelo's Pizza. I made sure he had no idea. I told him we were meeting Matt and Candace for dinner and drinks. He was in a good mood all day. He dressed up. He smiled. That made it easier. When we walked into the back room, his smile froze. Maya was already there. So were the others. He said, "What's going on?" I stood at the head of the table and said, "Sean, I thought this was the perfect time for the people closest to you to know the truth." Then I opened my phone. Clicked play. I didn't say anything else. Just let the texts and recordings play. One after another. Maya was crying. His mom looked horrified. His sister yelled at him. Matt looked stunned. Sean just sat there, pale, sweating, like someone had pulled the ground out from under him. I handed him a manila envelope with all the printed texts and screenshots. On top was a note, "You were always afraid of being exposed. So I did you a favor." And I walked out. I didn't look back when I walked out of that restaurant. I got in my car and drove straight to the apartment. My stuff was already packed. I'd spent the last 2 days boxing up everything that was mine. I'd rented a short-term place across town. No one knew where, not even my best friend. By the time Sean got back that night, all that was left in the apartment was his things, and the memories. And I left those there too, like trash on the curb. He texted me that night. Just one line, "Please talk to me." I didn't respond. The next morning, I had 10 missed calls. 4 voicemails. 1 from his mom. 1 from Maya. The rest from him. The messages started polite, then got desperate. 1 voicemail from Sean: "Trish, I screwed up. I know I did. But we can fix this. You and me. I never stopped loving you. Fix it?" After a year of lying to me and stringing her along? After gaslighting me into thinking I was crazy? No. I was done. The crazy part? That wasn't the twist. 2 weeks later, Maya showed up again. At my new place. I was getting out of my car after work when I saw her sitting on the front steps. Her belly was bigger. Her face looked drained. She stood up when she saw me. "I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't be here." I didn't say anything. I just unlocked the door and stepped inside. She followed. I didn't tell her to leave. I offered her water. She didn't want any. She sat on the edge of the couch, hands folded in her lap. "He told me you were violent," she said, eyes on the floor. "That you hit him once during a fight. That you were unstable." I stared. "What?" She nodded. "That's why I didn't come to you sooner. I thought you'd hurt me. I thought you'd try to take the baby from me or something." I sat across from her. "I've never laid a hand on him. Ever." "I know," she said softly. "Now I know." She reached into her bag and pulled out a manila folder. Inside were copies of messages he'd sent her. Same manipulations. Same lies. But worse. One message said, "If she ever finds out, she'll go off the deep end. She's not stable. I'm scared of what she'll do." Another, "I need you to be patient. I'll leave her when the time's right. Don't push me." He was using us both. Making me look like the threat while he played the victim. That wasn't just betrayal. That was character assassination. I looked at Maya. "What do you want from me?" She hesitated. Then said, "I want him to be held accountable. For the baby. For lying. For everything." I nodded. We started comparing notes. Every lie. Every overlap. Every time he told her he was at work when he was with me, or told me he was with Matt when he was with her. We built a timeline. We printed it out. Then we contacted a lawyer. Turns out, if a man lies about his relationship status while getting involved with another woman, it doesn't always hold up in court. But if he makes promises about paternity, financial support, and medical costs, and then ghosts when the baby's on the way? That's a different story. The lawyer filed a paternity suit. We attached the messages. The recordings. The timeline. Everything. Sean responded the way cowards do. He denied everything. Said the messages were faked. Said Maya was stalking him. But we had enough proof to bury that lie. The court ordered a paternity test. Maya was 7 months pregnant by then, so they scheduled it for after the birth. During all this, Sean was unraveling. He started sending messages to mutual friends, saying I was trying to destroy his life. He posted vague statuses on Facebook about people twisting the truth. But here's where the twist really hit. Candace, the mutual friend who'd been at the dinner. She reached out to me privately. She said something had been bothering her for weeks. Apparently, Sean tried to hook up with her last year. Late night message. If things were different, type crap. She shut it down. Told Matt. They let it go, thinking it was a one-time lapse. But now? She sent me a screenshot of a message Sean sent her 3 days after the dinner blow-up. "You always got me. Unlike Trish. She was poison." That's when I knew. He wasn't sorry. He wasn't ashamed. He was just mad he got caught. I thanked Candace. Then I sent the screenshot to Maya. And that's when she told me she had something else to share. Maya asked if we could meet in person again. She said it wasn't something she wanted to text. So we met at a small cafe on West 8th Street. It was cold outside. Snow had just started falling, and she had her coat zipped up over her belly. I ordered her peppermint tea. She barely touched it. She pulled out her phone, tapped a few times, then held it out to me. I recorded a conversation, she said. A few days after the dinner. I wasn't going to say anything at first, but after what you sent me from Candace, I put the phone to my ear and hit play. I heard Sean's voice. Calm, like always. Calculated. Look, Maya, I know you're scared, but I need you to stop talking to Trish. She's unstable. She's trying to mess up both our lives. This whole paternity thing is just her trying to get revenge. Maya's voice came through next. Quiet, but steady. You told me you wanted to be a father. He laughed. I said a lot of things when I was trying to get away from her. You really gonna hold that against me? That last line, it made my stomach twist. He wasn't sorry. He never was. Even with a baby on the way, he was still playing games, trying to turn us against each other. Trying to escape clean, like he hadn't wrecked 2 lives. I stared at Maya. He knew you were recording? She shook her head. I used the voice memos app on my Apple Watch. He didn't see. I exhaled. We're not done. Maya smiled a little, the first real smile I'd seen from her. Good. Because I'm tired of being quiet. We contacted the lawyer again. The voice recording was added to the court packet. But there was another problem. One I hadn't planned for. My job. See, I'd kept this whole thing pretty quiet at work. I didn't tell anyone the details. Just said the relationship ended and I moved. But about a week after that recording, I got called into my boss's office. He looked uncomfortable. Trish, I need to ask, is it true that someone came here looking for you? A pregnant woman? I nodded. Yeah. It was personal. He looked at the floor, then back up. A patient said something to one of the hygienists. Said they overheard drama at the front desk. It's nothing major, but just be aware, people talk. I nodded again. Understood. It didn't hit me right away, but later that night I realized Sean was still managing to hurt me without even being around. His mess was bleeding into my life, my career, my reputation. I knew what I had to do next. I didn't want to just ruin him in court. I wanted people to know what kind of person he was. So I started compiling everything. Not just texts. But the timeline. The voicemails. The recordings. The screenshots from Candace. I blurred Maya's name and mine, just for privacy. Then I made a post on a private Facebook group for local women. It wasn't about revenge, not directly. I titled it, "This is what emotional manipulation looks like, please read." I shared our story, beginning to end. With proof. I never used his full name. Just his first name and where he worked. Women connected the dots fast. The post got over 500 comments in 2 days. And then I started getting DMs. One woman said she matched with Sean on Bumble 2 months ago, while I was still with him. Another said he'd met her at a community health event and claimed to be single. I felt sick. One woman even said he got angry when she didn't want to go back to his place after a second date. Said he called her stuck up and blocked her. The guy was a serial manipulator. Lying wasn't just something he did, it was who he was. I screenshot all of it. And then I got an idea. I sent everything to the nonprofit where he worked. Every single piece. With a cover letter from my lawyer, outlining his conduct in the paternity suit. 3 days later, his job posted a new opening for Community Wellness Coordinator. Guess who didn't work there anymore? But the biggest twist hadn't come yet. 2 weeks before Maya's due date, she called me. Her voice was shaking. Trish, I need to tell you something. I didn't know until now. I swear. What is it? She was quiet for a second. My baby, it's not his. I froze. What? She sniffled. They rushed a paternity test early because of a possible health concern. It's not Sean's. I sat there, stunned. Not because I cared about Sean's future, but because everything had just flipped. All this time. I asked. I was sure, she said. The dates lined up. But it was someone else. A one-night thing I barely remembered. I thought it was Sean. We both sat in silence. She added, I'm sorry, Trish. For dragging you into this. I let out a long breath. You didn't drag me into anything. He did. Now everything made sense. Why he was avoiding her. Why he started pulling away. Maybe he suspected all along. But that didn't change the fact that he used, lied, manipulated, and hurt people, me included. He thought he got lucky. That he dodged a bullet. He was wrong. After Maya told me the baby wasn't Sean's, I thought about everything. The lies. The nights I sat alone thinking I was being too emotional. The gaslighting. Him making me feel like I was paranoid, insecure, dramatic. All while he was juggling other women. Lying to all of us. Part of me wanted to just move on. But something still felt unfinished. Because even without being the father, Sean had still done everything else. Lied. Manipulated. Cheated. Played 2 women off each other. Smeared my name. Tried to make Maya disappear when things got inconvenient. He never once took responsibility. Never apologized to either of us unless he was caught. Never showed shame, just frustration that he didn't get away with it. And now that the baby wasn't his, he was telling people he was the victim. One of our old mutual friends texted me a screenshot of Sean's latest Facebook post. It read, "Tired of people spreading lies. I was dragged through hell for something that wasn't even mine to begin with. Turns out I wasn't the father, guess I'm owed a few apologies." A few apologies? I read it over and over again, and all I felt was rage. That's when I decided, he was going to learn what being dragged through hell really looked like. The final part of the plan started with a DM. I reached out to one of the women who had messaged me through the Facebook group. I'll call her Erica. She told me Sean had ghosted her after sleeping with her once last year. She was smart, funny, and more forgiving than I'd be. But she was still angry. I've been quiet about this, she wrote, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't want him to get what's coming. So I asked her, want to help? She didn't even hesitate. Hell yes. Erica still had Sean's number saved. She also knew what kind of ego he had. So we worked together on a message that would grab him. She texted him one night, "Hey. I know things ended weird, but I've been thinking about you. Want to get a drink and catch up?" He responded in less than 10 minutes. Wow. Wasn't expecting that. Sure, let's meet. We set it for Saturday, 7 p.m., at a place called Muldoon's downtown. I knew he liked that bar. He used to drag me there even though I hated the music. He showed up. Dressed nice. Smiling. But Erica wasn't there. I was. I sat at the table instead. He froze when he saw me. "What the hell is this?" he asked. I smiled. "Sit down, Sean." He didn't move. "I'm not here to scream," I said. "I just want to give you something." I slid an envelope across the table. Inside was a printed binder of all the screenshots, quotes, messages, from me, from Maya, from Erica, from Candace. At the end of the packet was a QR code. That code linked to a private site. A website I built. A simple homepage with one button, the truth about Sean. It had no slander. Just facts. Screenshots. Dates. Voices. His own words. A timeline of what he did to every woman he used. He opened the envelope, flipped through a few pages, then glared at me. "What is this?" he said. "It's your legacy," I said. "And it's only viewable if someone has the link. I haven't shared it publicly, yet." He laughed, fake and sharp. "You think this scares me? You're just bitter." "No. I'm not bitter. I'm done." He stood up to leave, but I said one last thing. "You lied to your friends. Your family. Your coworkers. You tried to make me look crazy. You made Maya believe she was alone. And now you want to act like you're the one who got hurt? You're not a victim, Sean. You're a virus." He stared at me, jaw tight. But he didn't say anything. He left. Over the next few weeks, I sent that link privately to every person he had lied to. His exes. His boss. His coworkers.